Good evening, my fellow Lanard fans. This is Walter McLeod, aka Lanardalicious, and today we are going to answer the top 10 questions that you have about the core multiverse, starting with number 10. Why are some members of the core now curse? Well, the answer to that is Time Crisis. Time Crisis has created a divergent timeline where the entire history of the core as we knew it no longer exists. The histories that we had prior to Time Crisis are gone. So some characters who were once allies are now enemies, and vice versa. Number 9. Why does Lanard not offer direct sales? Well, the long and short of it is that Lanard does offer once a year direct sales to the public through the Lanard Annual Warehouse event that runs from Thanksgiving, or the day after Thanksgiving I should say, all the way to Christmas Eve. And there's plenty of products that you would not normally find at your standard retailers at the Lanard Annual Warehouse event, including international variants, packaging variants, and long gone from retail products from Lanard. Number 8. Why do we have 118 aliens but no 118 predators? This one came from one of my Twitter followers. Well, that's a very good question. The 118 scale aliens did sell pretty well, but Lanard wanted to branch out into the 112 format for this year for the Alien and Predator lines. A lot of that has to do with shared licensing. You have different companies that have the same licensed product, like for Lanard with Aliens and Predator. You have other companies like NECA, and you have companies like Funko and Hiya Toys and several others that all have the licensing, so each one of them has to do things differently. Okay, number 7. Are there troop builders in the core or curse multiverse? Yes, there are. Shrapnel is one of the current troop builders for the lanardcorps brand. He is a curse troop builder. Now, this gets a lot of confusion because he does have a file name of Darius Weaver, and the best way I can really explain this is to think of clones or foot soldiers. Well, he serves that purpose for the curse. So you can have him as a troop builder for your forces. That's the easiest way I can explain it. Number 6. Did COVID affect Lanard? Yes. The COVID pandemic didn't just affect Lanard, it affected the entire retail industry, from shipping to day-to-day operations. The pandemic is still ongoing, and we're still in a pandemic society. Now things have gotten semi back to normal, and companies are starting to hit their strides again and their retail marks, but things are still not where they were pre-pandemic. So you're going to see some companies are late getting product to retail, and you'll see less of products because they have less workforce. So it did affect multiple companies, not just Lanard. Number 5. Will Star Troopers continue beyond this first assortment? Yes, it will. The Star Troopers is going to be an ongoing product line for Lanard. This first assortment, a lot of people only saw a couple of things here for domestic retail so far, but it will land later on this year at domestic retail with the full first assortment. Number 4. Is the core now only at Ollie's? Well, I get asked this one a lot, and I understand the confusion because you have not seen it outside of Ollie's for a lot of people, and a lot of people talk about Ollie's. Well, the truth is, Ollie's is a third party. They get reallocated toy stock. They get stock from buybacks. the past 2 years, I'll just really sum it up really quickly because I want to get through this list. The past 2 years, you've had reallocated stock, and you had a stock from Australia more recently, and that's where a lot of the confusion came from, because people seen the core and they seen a couple of Star Troopers, and they even seen some Jurassic Clash, or Primal Clash as you knew here in the US, and they've seen that at Ollie's. No, Ollie's is not going to be the only place you can find the core. You might still see stuff pop in from now and going forward. You might still see a couple of odds and ends, but no, they are a third party. They don't have dedicated stock. And touching on Jurassic Clash, number 3, will Jurassic Clash return in Time Crisis? That is another excellent question, because there are 3 time periods that are discussed in Time Crisis, and one of them is the distant past that has to do with dinosaurs. So yes, it is very likely. Now, right now, you can still get several exclusive Jurassic Clash items through both Amazon and Walmart.com. If you weren't aware of that, they have an exclusive box set, and then they have the T-Rex. I think they're out of the Cyber Monkey. Number 2, why don't we have large core products like I've seen online in Australia and in the UK? The truth is, this is one that's going to upset a lot of people, but the truth is why we don't see some of these big boxed items is our domestic retailers don't have the shelf space. Shelf space costs a premium. Now, if you're a mega corporation like Mattel or Hasbro that can throw, insane amounts of things at a retailer, and they can put larger, amounts of product onto a thing, then yeah, they can put a couple of big items. And Lanard has been known to put some exclusive items at retailers, to be fair. But the truth is, Smith's and Mr. Toy's Toy World are gigantic toy store chains in the UK and in Australia, and they can put massive amounts of big boxed items. If we had a dedicated toy store like we did a decade ago, like Toys R Us or KB Toys or Lionel Playworld or any of the things that you grew up with for toy stores, you would see these big, massive box sets. And to be fair, once again, we can go back to that number 9 question. You can find a lot of these big boxed items at the Lanard Annual Warehouse event, and Lanard is working with several of its retail partners, and I can't go into that until after Hong Kong Toy Fair, to bring certain big boxed items to the US. Which leads us to number 1, the number 1 question that everyone keeps asking. When and where will the core return to US retail? That information, I can tell you, one of the big retailers should still be Walmart. Now, I cannot give you guys any other retail information at this point, but I can tell you some of the past retailers that carried Lanard products, such as Fred's Super Dollar, you had Dollar General, you even had Target, you had Toys R Us, you've had Go stores like Go Toys and Go Events, you've had Constructive Playthings, and that pretty much, but your main U.S. partner for Lanard in the past decade has been Walmart. And why Walmart? Well, Walmart is one of the largest retailers here in the U.S. Now, do they carry everything that Lanard carries? No. That's an impossibility. There's just so many products that Lanard makes. But the core will return to U.S. and domestic retail mid-year. A lot of information is going to be coming forward right after Hong Kong Toy Fair. So if you'll stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, hit that like button, I can promise you, as soon as things are cleared and allowed to show, they will be right here on my YouTube channel. So I thank you for your questions. These were some fantastic questions that you guys had formulated for me. So continue watching and thank Lanard for bringing the fun.